Hello, folks, and welcome back to Dried Watermelon. We're starting off our Return of the King, looking at the differences between the novels and the films. This one here is a really significant departure. This is actually a really major one, and I was not happy with this one at all. They kill Saruman off. His staff is broken, and he's pushed off by Grima Wormtongue, and then he gets impaled on one of his machines or something, on a spike. I hate this death. This means that the whole scourging of the Shire doesn't happen, which to me is so significant plot-wise to show how Frodo and Sam, Merry, and Pippin have grown and have come full circle, and they can take care of themselves. In the novel, after they destroy the ring, Aragorn and Gandalf and all of them, they're all together, and then eventually they start kind of peeling off until at the end it's just Gandalf and the hobbits. And then Gandalf says goodbye and he says, I'm not going with you. You don't need me anymore. That's what the whole point of this is. The hobbits go and they take care of things themselves. And they, of course, run into Sharky, who is Saruman. That whole point is missing here because Saruman's dead now. So it fails to show the hobbits' growth in the end and to show how they can come together. And also fails to show then how much mercy Saruman has shown and the importance of showing mercy even to your enemies, and how evil betrays itself again at the end with Grima. Although I guess he kind of does it here, but I really think this is a lost opportunity, so I was disappointed by this. Wormtongue is killed off by Legolas. In the book, with the scourging of the Shire, after he stabs Saruman in the back, literally with a knife, the hobbits kill him, and again it shows how the hobbits now can take care of themselves. And King Elessar, Aragorn, eventually bans and forbids any humans from entering the Shire. And it's only, or any of the big people, I think he says. So only the hobbits and the little people are allowed there. So this is really important, I think, that it shows that the hobbits can take care of themselves. And Legolas here kills him instead. When Saruman dies, he also drops a palantir. In the novel, Wormtongue actually throws it out. And that's really important too, because it shows how Wormtongue, Grima Wormtongue, is essential to the plot line moving along, and how he makes a foolish error that Saruman's mad about too. So I wasn't happy with this either. Again, the bigger issue is Saruman's death and how that was handled, but this kind of goes hand in hand with that. Faramir goes to Minas Tirith, and he tells Gandalf about how this isn't the first halfling he's seen when he sees Pippin. He actually doesn't talk about that encounter until he meets with his dad, Denethor, later on. So this is a little bit of a change. Just want to note. Faramir here flees Osgiliath after the fight, and in the novel is Prince Imrahil, who's actually a really cool character, who finds him and takes him back to Minas Tirith. This is actually a really, really not critical part, but I really like Prince Imrahil and the role that he plays, and his interactions with Aragorn too. I guess for sake of simplicity, they didn't want to introduce another character, so he's left out of the film. But I wanted to see him. Here they're fighting within Minas Tirith in the city of Gondor. In the novel, yes, they do get through the first gate, and then Gandalf and the Witch King have a standoff, but that's when the cock crows 3 times, and then the Rohirrim have arrived. So the fight then returns back out to the Pelennor field. So it's just a little bit different. This makes it a little bit more dramatic. The fighting is closer and more tense in the city. A little bit of urban warfare, but it is a little different. Aragorn here in the film reveals himself through the Palantir and strives with Sauron. Actually, in the novel, he does this with the Palantir of Orthanc earlier on, before leaving the Hornburg. So this is a neat scene, and it shows. I thought it was a little cheesy how he's like holding it and he's getting pulled around, but it does show how Aragorn, how powerful he actually is, and he can strive with Sauron himself. So that is pretty cool.
Behold the sword of Elendil.
One really cool scene that I would have loved for Jackson to have included in the movie was to actually show Aragorn's rangers and his ranger brothers, the rangers from the north, including the sons of Elrond, Elladan, and Elrohir, and Halbarad. And they're starting to overtake the company, and the company hears these who's behind, and they're like, oh no, we're not even that well armed. And then they find out that there are about 36 or so of these rangers. Actually, I think it's about 30 rangers who have come. And of course, this ties in with the Scouring of the Shire, because the rangers are gone, and then things around the Shire get worse. And then the people of Bree and Hobbiton realize just how much the rangers have done, or they start to appreciate them more there. But it would have been so cool just to see more of these Dunedain showing up and joining the fight as well, and going with the Grey Company. So I was a little disappointed not to see them. Additionally, there's no Prince Imrahil. I've already talked about this, Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth, who comes to help and fight at Minas Tirith before its siege. So that's also a little bit disappointing, but I guess I understand it.
But we will meet them in battle nonetheless.
Another piece that is left out of Return of the Kings in the movie are the whole people of the Druedain, led by Gan-Buri Gan, the leader of the Druedain. So they're the wild peoples, and they've been criticized for being racist, for being stereotypes, for being caricatures. I've heard other people say that they actually had agency. They refused to participate in the wider world of men and humanity, and instead they wanted to have independence and sovereignty and self-determination of their own peoples and their own lands. And they also did fight and were independent and wouldn't let people talk over them. So anyways, I'm not going to comment on that. Aside from that, they were left out, and that they are kind of controversial for those reasons that I've just mentioned. And they're left out completely. I think that Jackson didn't even want to go there, is my guess, and that he felt that it wouldn't necessarily contribute to their plots as well. So the Gan-Buri Gan have been left out. In the novels, Merry actually doesn't know that it's Eowyn who has helped him out here. In the movie, he knows right away, but in the novels, he only knows this soldier by the name of Dernhelm. And then finally, when Dernhelm reveals herself with the mask, Merry realizes it's Eowyn.